is tied to up to our artificial reef. So when we go down, I'll show you where it's tied to. So it'll kind of give you a hint of where you are when you're underwater. Because once you go underwater, you kind of lose all sense of direction. Right here you can see the Roxy tied up to the sub. We use the Roxy to tow us out from the harbor every morning and then tow her back every evening when we're done. And that's because she is fully battery powered. We've got no emissions coming out of her. She's very eco-friendly. And she's pretty slow. So coming out here on our own power without being towed would take quite a long time. So we tow her with the Roxy. The Roxy also acts as our surface support vessel. She'll stay above us while we're underwater. And she'll make sure that all the traffic is clear when we are ready to pop up like a cork after our dive. So in just a moment we're going to pull over to the submarine and we will tie up to her and make the world's largest submarine sandwich with the Roxy on one side and us on the other.
I've never been down in the sub to see this thing, so.
Excellent.
And you won't let me do my Navy slide either.
No. Engaging the vertical thrusters. Here we go. Dive, dive, dive.
All right, folks, that means we are sinking. We're going to head down to the bottom of the ocean without getting wet. If you accept this mission, please say yes. Uh-oh, that sounds off half of us. I hate to open up the hatches when it's 30 feet under. It gets all wet in here. It's not very comfortable. I hope you brought your towels. Actually, we won't have to. They're out of luck. We're going to go down, down, down. Down to about 105 feet is about our average first step. Now what first part of our tour will be. So as you notice up here on the port side, everybody wave on the port side. I want to make sure you know where you're sitting in case I see something cool. There's 2 people on the port side. Awesome. Right here, we'd have a depth gauge up here by me. Now starboard side, let's see how many people are sitting on the starboard side. We have 4 people. Awesome. 5. Right back there near our co-pilot Jordan, we have another depth gauge. Feel free to check that one out. That'll help you know how deep you are at all times. Now, you need to open those up. I will pop those open for you. Now if you look left or right of your sushi menu, now the sushi menu is going to give you some items where the fish are and what they look like. So if you want to refer to those, I'll try to point those out as many as I see. Now above your sushi menu you have a dive guide. That dive guide is going to tell you where we're going and what the maps. Anyone know what that white stuff is? Nope. Nope, no jellyfish, nope. It's kind of sandy. Sand. Good job. Alright, what about that dark stuff you're starting to see? Anyone know what that is? The triggerfishes you're going to see down here have that flag-like waving fin on the back half of its body. The one I'm looking at right here is called the pink-tailed triggerfish. Another hint when you're looking at the reef, look inside these caves. We get a lot of eels, octopus, lobster. Ooh, I just saw, the first time I've ever seen a roy fish, which is that big black fish, try to eat a surgeonfish, which is the yellow tang. I didn't think he would eat that one. It was pretty big. Now you can see the trevally hanging out where that ruckus went on. Now the reason the trevally show up is they are looking to maybe catch a fish that wasn't aware that they were even there. Very, very smart hunters. They swim up to 50 miles an hour, and they also have a double hinge jaw, which will open up. It's very large, so they can eat pretty big fish compared to their size. But that roy fish, also known as the peacock grouper, if you look at your sushi menu, you'll see an eye next to it. Also an eye next to the blue striped snapper. That I stands for introduced. Now they were brought here from the reef from somewhere else. And the E that you're going to see next to some of the fish stand for endemic, being only found here in our reefs in the Hawaiian Islands. But these big group of fish, the blue line snappers or the blue striped snappers, these guys are brought from Tahiti. And they were brought here in the 1950s to help the sport fishing and also to feed a lot of our locals and our tourists. They are still on the menu today. They didn't really pan out, no pun intended, as much as they thought they were, because in Tahiti they're a lot larger. Out here they didn't grow that large. Right here next to me I'm seeing some beautiful Moorish idols. And those are the striped fish with the yellow, pale yellow, black and white, and they have that long pinstripe on top. Beautiful fish called the Moorish idol. Also in that awesome documentary called Finding Nemo. His name was Finn. You also might notice these rare cinder block coral we have down here. These are from back in the day when we had a very large mafia problem here on Maui. Yeah, that's not true. These are actually put down here by us. We brought them down here for navigational reasons. We did get permission by the state to bring those down. The tall ships would be under sail power only. They wouldn't be able to slow down or bring the sails fast enough to stop or turn quickly if something got in front of them. So they would drop these kedge anchors down, they would drag along the ocean floor, turn port to starboard side. Port side, here's a good example of the sea cucumber. That's the one that looks like a mock fish. And they love looking at our viewports. And I don't mean to shatter your ego, but they're actually looking for food. They're not staring at the humans. Yeah, we could be considered as a floating salad bar here on the sub. We do have crabs. It's kind of embarrassing. Now right here on top, if you look kind of high, you'll see a giant porcupine puffer. Now if that one puffed up, he would be about the size of a beach ball. And he'll have about an inch or two spikes. He also has a very strong bite. He could really take your finger off in one good bite. In the background, that long skinny fish kind of facing straight down, that is a trumpet fish. And he's an ambush predator. He's trying to hunt for food. That guy and the sleek unit, or the bluefin trevally, are constantly hunting all day long. Also, we have a lot of the juvenile bluefin trevally. Now you might see some of them swim towards the sub. We'll use our sub as a hunting line and hide behind it. Top, you're seeing this beautiful surgeonfish right near the rope that's hanging over. There's also a surgeonfish hanging out right in front of the pilot house inside of the goatfish. Beautiful yellow tang right here on the railing also. That's a big boy. Now the ship has been down here for 11 years. We sank it about 11 years ago. And you can see the growth, how long it took just to get 11 years of growth. Oh, beautiful parrotfish right there, just came out of a hole. See him up, looks like he does mouth wide open. I've never seen that, it's kind of cool. Also the fish with the white body up above the ship and the black trim around it, those are called, oh, the filefish is there. Look right where the rope meets. You see that beautiful kind of spotted fish? He's right where the line that's not attached to anything is hanging down. He always shows up the first dive. And then I try to show guests the rest of the trip, and he disappears. Her name is Patricia. We did name her. It's one of the other narrator's favorite fish. Right here on the side, you'll see that wire sticking out. Anyone know what kind of coral that is?
Wire coral.
Wire coral, that's right. Part of the black coral family. Oh, here's your white tip for the port side. Beautiful views, Captain Matt. Looks awesome. Ooh, you can see his eyes. So if you can check out his eyes, they're a lot scarier when they swim. So if you do see him swim, you'll get those chills. Now on the side of the ship, you'll see that light kind of whitish coral. We don't have soft corals in Hawaii. So you can see the soft coral right there. That's an invasive species called snowflake coral. And if you try to rip it off, it just spreads the spores, makes it even worse. So there's really not much you can do with it. What it will do is it'll get on top of other corals and smother the light, block the light, and smother the coral, and it'll die. So it's not a coral, a soft coral we like to have here.
We are heading from the deep spot to Keiki, requesting instructions to begin our ascent.
You can begin your ascent. Your present location will work for you there. And anticipate the figures are heading on the surface. Another 40 degrees down.
Roger that, sending ghost tower within 40 feet, 330 on the surface. Here we go.
Alright folks, so at that depth, we are at 127 feet. That is 5 atmospheres of pressure. And that's equal on our windows here to a full-grown male African elephant on every viewport. That's how much weight is on there.
Welcome back to Atlantis Roxy on the
Thank you for coming. Come back again.
Alright, as we get these last few people on board, I'll explain a little bit about our boarding procedure.
All right, thanks. How'd it go? Good.
Your groups. So just stay seated and stay patient until I call you guys out from every seat down there.
Roxy is marking our first stop, which is the South Reef. So the South Reef is directly below the Roxy. And then off our starboard bow, you guys can see there's that orange mooring buoy. That's marking where the bow of the Carthaginian is at. And those are the two farthest points. So it's about a quarter mile long. Directly in the middle is the North Reef. So if you then create an invisible line between the now invisible North Reef, that point's right there. You got a line right there. Then we went to the deep spot. Which way did we go on the side of the line? That side, closer to shore, or did we come offshore and come out to the deep spot? Any guesses? Most people think offshore, right? But this might be deeper. We actually headed closer to land to get to our deep spot, which is kind of weird to point out. If you look at a little, like a NOAA chart of the area, you see that the deepest point in the area is right there, or about 30 minutes out of it. By the submarine. But yeah, that's our entire dive tank. It's kind of cool. Like I said, that orange mooring buoy is marking where the Carthaginians at. Arguably, there's a 120 foot long steel ship down there. But I was sitting in the back. If you guys have any questions about anything, just throw something at me. I'll come by. Otherwise, hang loose. I hope you guys have a good time down there. But sit back, relax, enjoy the views, enjoy the weather. You guys have some right hands. Very, very good.
Ooh, what was that?
Alright guys, we're going to start making our way back into the harbor. Don't open the scene for me until I get that ramp down and all the lines tied up. That'd be fantastic. I do trust all of you guys' standing skills completely. I just want to make sure that when we're backing up and we slip our captain in the sea, it's more important to me so we can actually safely back into the stuff. But otherwise, hang loose for just a few minutes. Once we start getting all the lines set up, our photographer is going to jump on board. Before you guys got on, I think we took some group family photos of you guys. I was going to jump on board and stuff this really cool dive vlog little package. He's going to pass it out to everybody. He's going to head back to that light ring. He's going to be selling this as an extra fun souvenir if you guys are interested. He's going to be doing that all at the light ring, so you guys disregard and talk to him right there. He's going to be selling it for $20 if you guys are interested. You can do cash at the light ring, credit or debit at the kiosk. Everything's totally optional. If you guys are interested in purchasing it, it's $20. If you guys aren't interested in purchasing it, as you guys disembark, you guys can hand it right back to him. It's totally cool. It's totally fun. But then as you guys do disembark, that ramp, the boat floats, that means that ramp rolls, so make sure you guys take a big step up onto that ramp. I don't want anyone's toes to get rolled over. However, I'm going to be standing right next to the ramp, and if you want your toe rolled over, let me know. I'll make sure it happens. Otherwise, just take a big step up, and then we'll be all set. But otherwise, hang loose. Hope you guys do enjoy the rest of your time on Maui. Thanks for making us a part of your trip, and we'll now get you back on dry land very, very, very quickly.